So it's part 2 of the new 90 Day Fiancé tell-all, and I can't help but feel that the producers are determined to drag this out.
And we have to milk it from every drop of publicity we can get.
I mean, so far, after 2 episodes, 3 hours of viewing time, pretty much all we've learned is Angela continues to be Angela.
Shut the up, here you go already.
And Big Ed continues to be Big Ed.
Did you not just say I have not spoken to her?
Me no speak English.
What the You know what? It's not something to joke about, Ed.
It is, because this is her. This is who Liz is.
I mean, yeah, this just reinforces why I typically never cover Big Ed or Angela. Frankly, I don't like either of them. But seeing as there's little else to go on, let's talk about Ed and what a giant piece of shit he is.
I don't think I have any more respect.
Let me have my ring back.
Oh.
Liz, I want you to take accountability for yourself. You have to.
I mean, wow. Just wow. You don't get much more manipulative than this guy. But before I get to this episode, let me quickly recap what we learned in part 1 of the tell-all. So apparently, after filming for the season ended, Liz and Ed split up again, only to later reunite. The couple are still engaged, but barely.
I don't know what we are. Ed wants me to wear my ring. I do wear it, but I don't know. I'm struggling with really defining if I want a relationship with Ed.
Are you still together as a couple?
We're still together.
We're engaged, but we're not living together.
Yeah, so it's a little bit confusing. Technically, they're engaged, but they live in separate houses, and Liz only goes to visit him once every 2 days.
I will see you every other night, and that's it. And
I can't see each other 2 days in a row. Like, it's kind of weird.
So complicated, I swear to God.
I think it's going to save our relationship. I really do.
Now, for some strange reason, both Ed and Liz try to present take 10 of their relationship, having split up 9 or 10 times already. They want to make out like this time everything is much better somehow.
So you think this new relationship is working for you?
I do. I've never, listen, by us being separated, I've never felt more secure in our relationship since I've met her.
Me personally, I feel like this has probably been the healthiest and strongest with Ed. I know our situation's crazy, like living separately now, but it's been the best our relationship's ever been.
Confused? Yeah, I don't blame you. It's a weird situation, and none of the other cast members can really understand it. They both claim to be more secure and happier than ever, yet you get the feeling there's more to this than meets the eye.
I will never live with him again until it's us picking a place together and deciding on it together. I will never
we'll have
move
2
back
separate
in.
bedrooms.
That's weird to me.
Clearly, they keep splitting up for a reason. So why is it, what is it that keeps them coming back together again? Well, Liz says that she loves Big Ed. She says it repeatedly.
I love him so much. I really do love him.
But significantly, when she's pressed on what she loves about him, the only reason she can give is...
Like, he really is good to my daughter.
And sure, while that's reassuring to hear, that's not a good enough reason to marry someone, particularly when their emotional connection is toxic and they also don't have a strong physical connection. I know, it's hard to believe, but Liz isn't attracted to Ed, and she isn't his type either. I mean, it says everything you need to know when you learn that just 1 hour after Liz moved out of his house, Ed was found on a dating website looking specifically for Asian women.
He was on it an hour after I left his house.
So let's
Ed,
back.
you were on a dating.
Okay, let's
you were
back
on an
up. Let's
Asian dating website?
Again, we have a lot of stuff to work on.
Now, let's put aside for a second the fact that Ed is a master manipulator. I'm going to go into that in a second. But just to finish off this train of thought as to why Liz is still with Ed, we're given an incredible insight from one of Liz's closest friends.
To see her back on her feet with her own place, her new furniture, I am proud to see that she doesn't need anyone. I hope she always remembers that.
As her friend rightly points out, she just needs to learn to be happy by herself. This horrible cycle that we're led to believe that she's in, bouncing around from one toxic relationship to the next, is something she needs to address.
There's the mismatch.
But Liz, you've never been alone.
For sure.
You've always been with a
Definitely
guy.
a mismatch.
You've always been in toxic, sick relationships.
And yes, that might just be the ultimate pot calling kettle black moment right there. Ed is in no position to call anyone out for relationships. He is the ultimate toxic relationship. But perhaps, if we're looking at this from an optimistic point of view, maybe this whole arrangement that she has with Ed, where she sees him one day on, one day off, maybe that might be helping her to regain her independence and learn to be alone one day at a time. But sadly, it appears as though she does still lack the self-respect and the self-belief, perhaps, to end it definitively. The truth is, Ed treats Liz like crap. Repeatedly. For example, the way he kicked her out of his house.
He actually had his friend help pack all my stuff to move out.
No. Are you telling me that Ed kicked you out, packed your stuff up, and you didn't have a place to go?
It doesn't matter whether you've split up or not. The fact that he's perfectly willing to kick her out on the streets without a roof over her head, without any shelter, shows you how much he respects her.
You're a piece of for doing that.
Now, what Jovi says there, and I fully agree with him by the way, but that's one of the few times Ed is actually confronted by other cast members, and that becomes significant later. But going back to Ed's treatment of Liz, the hardest thing to watch is the emotional abuse. The manipulation, the gaslighting, the way he's always trying to flip things onto her. There's so many examples of this, but here are a few. When Ed is called out for going on the Asian dating website, it's not his fault. No.
Her mom and her have nothing better to do than spy on me. You don't like my personality. You think I'm flirty. Well,
leave him alone.
This is who I am. I'm a socialite.
What the hell? That's a guy who's just been caught out on a dating app. But the blame for him getting caught is on Liz for spying on him and not liking his personality. Come on. But it gets even worse, and this is the one that really triggers me. So when Ed's ex-fiancée Rose is introduced and brought on screen, Sean hints that Ed's been messaging her behind Liz's back.
So, Ed, have you spoken to your ex-fiancée, Rose?
No.
No, he says, sounding very unsure. But then he begins to oscillate between innocence and memory loss.
I may have. I don't remember.
You may. How are you not? It's a yes or no.
I don't know. I don't know if I was or not.
This is the actions of someone who's not sure what evidence they have against him. I might have texted her, I can't remember. What proof do you have?
I want to see the receipts.
And predictably, once again, Ed gets caught up in a lie. His ex-fiancée Rose confirms that yes, they've been messaging.
I didn't.
That's not true. Because he already messaged me and I have screenshot.
Now, when the screenshot is shown of the messages Ed has been sending, it turns out Ed is asking Rose if he can travel to the Philippines to meet her again.
He says, I want to come to the Philippines again to see you if you're open.
We later learn that this message was actually sent one day before he proposed to Liz.
The last message I saw with the timestamp was the day before he proposed to me.
That one you read?
But the revelations about Rose don't end there. It turns out Ed is always pestering her to FaceTime, and she believes, given the opportunity, he'd love to get back in a relationship with her.
Do you think that Ed is still interested in having a relationship with you?
She's saying he's interested, but he's in a relationship right now.
Notably, Ed doesn't deny this, and just to further prove how little respect he has for Liz, listen to how he talks to her. This is a guy who's just been caught out in a lie, texting his ex, yet he's got the gall, the audacity to say this.
Did you not just say I have not spoken to her?
Me no speak English.
What the?
You know what? It's not something to joke about, Ed.
It is, because this is her. This is who Liz is.
Look at him, trying to deflect attention away from himself and somehow make her to be the one in the wrong. This is who Liz is, he says. Sadly, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The blame and the deflection get even worse.
I don't think I have any more respect.
Let me have my ring back.
Oh.
Wow.
This again shows what a vile man Ed is. Instead of any empathy, any sympathy, any acknowledgement that he's in the wrong, he instead shows zero respect for her. Give me my ring back. Ed treats Liz like a piece of dirt. Notably, and this becomes important later, but Kim is the only cast member to really criticise Ed. The rest just ooh and ah.
Wow. Wow. You're a dick. You're a dick, yo. I'm just gonna say it.
Now, with that, with Liz giving back his ring and presumably the engagement being over, their segment in the studio comes to an end.
I'm not exactly sure what to say, and I don't know what the future of your relationship is, but I hope there's some healing. Thanks so much.
But that's not all, because don't forget, this is a new style tell-all. So, while all the other cast members are in the green room, Ed storms off and makes it clear he blames Liz for everything that's just happened.
You know, I'm just cooling down. It was just frustrating for Liz to sit there and play the victim, which she's not. I just felt like she turned everything around.
What exactly does Ed mean by this? Well, as we'll see shortly, it's all going to blow up back at the hotel. But for now, in the green room, the other cast members are all urging Liz to end this relationship once and for all.
Don't get married. It wouldn't last. There's no way.
Are you gonna keep doing this or what? With him? Because he seemed like he's a dirtbag, you know?
That's what I don't know.
She reveals that even after all that she learnt, all the lies, all the toxic behaviour, the fact he's messaging his ex-fiancée and lying about it, she still didn't want to hand back her ring, presumably meaning she still wants to get married.
He goes, give me back my ring. I didn't want to hand it back, but he asked for it.
I think what makes this so painful to watch is that Liz is an intelligent person. She's self-aware. She understands what's going on.
I can't tell you how stupid I feel right now. Just reliving stuff, and I enable it. I keep going back to it.
She understands that she needs to break this cycle, and she can also see Ed for who he really is.
Tired of all the lies and deflection and projection.
Bingo, that's exactly right. Ed is a manipulator. He projects and deflects. She sees it. She's tired of it. Yet, inexplicably, she still hangs around. She keeps coming back to him. Why? Well, that's $1 million question.
Why do you keep coming back?
Even Ed doesn't understand it, but knowing that she will come back is what gives him the power to act the way he does.
He goes talks to other girls. We were in Arkansas with his family. He was DMing girls on Instagram.
Anyone surprised by what Liz reveals there? It turns out Rose isn't the only woman that Ed is messaging. But that's not really a surprise, is it? Ed's a serial offender, and Liz seems numb to it. Throughout this all, she doesn't cry. Her engagement has just ended, but she seems relatively unfazed by it. All we get from her is a promise that it will hit her later.
That was a lot that came out today. It's all gonna hit later. Actually, I don't have any emotions right now. I think I'm just... It's all gonna hit later.
Now, one thing that does hit later is the full extent of Ed's ridiculous argument. Little by little, we see him try to manipulate what just happened in the studio into somehow all being Liz's fault.
I had 6 other couples just attacking me nonstop, completely taking Liz's side, and Liz just stood there and let me take it, and then jumped on the bandwagon.
What an outrageous claim that is. Firstly, 6 other couples did not attack him. If anything, they were very restrained with him. The only real criticism he got was once from Jovi.
You're a piece of for doing that.
And once from Kim.
You're a dick. You're a dick, yo. I'm just gonna say it.
But then the fact that he expects Liz to stand up for him after what he just put her through shows what a manipulator, what a narcissist this guy is. He thinks the world revolves around him, like it's somehow Liz's duty to protect him after what he's just done. But we all know Ed being a narcissist isn't new news, is it? Who else gets a tattoo of their own face or has weird pseudo-religious merchandise depicting him as some kind of religious figure displayed proudly in their home? Now, back at the hotel, Ed pulls Liz aside for a chat. The deflection begins immediately.
I want to apologize to you, but you just need to know where I was at today. I was drowning, and I felt like you were stepping on my head.
I can't believe what I'm hearing here. Liz's face says it all. I apologise, but you were stepping on my head while I was drowning. It's disgusting. It's really, really disgusting. The way he's trying to manipulate this into being her fault is emotional abuse.
The one person I wanted to count on and stand beside me, right or wrong, and I thought that was you.
But I can't do that when it was a lie.
What he's doing here is precisely why this guy should not be on TV screens. He's the one in the wrong, yet he refuses to accept it.
You act like I'm trying to lie to you. I'm not trying to lie to you. Just because I didn't remember.
And worse still, he now goes on the attack and starts to make accusations against Liz.
And you started to perform.
I'm performing?
You were performing. You're acting like a little attorney.
Thanks for your apology.
Where do we even begin with that? Liz is somehow the performer, and that's coming from the man whose whole life is a performance. Everything he seems to do is designed to get people talking about him. From stripping naked, to me no speak English, to even the pink Crocs he wears. If anyone's a performer, it's Ed. And it's clear that all of the cast see him for the man he really is.
I can't hear anymore about Big Egg because he's pissing me off and him because he's up.
You don't like him, I don't like him like even more right now.
Yeah, same here.
Now, as Jovi and Andre are talking about Big Ed, Liz enters the bar. Jovi takes the opportunity to tell Liz to her face that the way Ed is treating her is completely unacceptable.
Me and Andre may not be on the same page about a lot of things, but I know that he would never talk to his wife the way that Ed talked to you today, and I would never do that to my wife. So seeing that today really bothered me. I don't think that should happen to anyone.
It's at this point that Ed also walks into the bar, and immediately he goes on the attack. In fact, it's kind of bizarre. I don't know where this comes from. I mean, we know that Jovi was one of the few people who said something to Ed in the studio, but now Ed starts attacking Jovi.
Like, all right, give me my ring back. What was I gonna do? No? Like, I don't know how to do that.
You just give up and walk away?
No, I wouldn't give up and walk away.
Come on.
It would take time.
Don't be such a pussy.
Ed again maintains that he's been ganged up on and that Liz is a performer.
Today was about you performing to make me look bad. You got up and go,
make me carry your luggage to the airport.
performer, Liz.
When Liz storms out, I guess Ed is even more annoyed because now he turns his attentions onto Jovi. It's again an example of deflection. He's trying to take the spotlight off his behaviour and pass the buck onto someone else.
You don't know my situation.
I'm not shooting my mouth off.
So shut the up, pussy. You're gonna go to a strip club with him and you're married. Talk about that for a minute.
Jovi has many faults, but it's Ed that's the real piece of shit. And I really hope that Liz, once and for all, finally leaves him.
Ed is such a piece of that doesn't deserve my love or anybody's love. And the only unconditional love he's gonna have is with the 2 dogs that we were supposed to share together.